back with famous friends playing for charity.
Are you going to be mad if I'm wrong?
No, the charity's mine.
And someone is bound to become a meme.
Don't take my word for it.
The Emmy-winning Who Wants to Be a Millionaire premieres Wednesday on ABC.
Yeah, so Aaron's behind us on the Behind the Table podcast today. We want you all to have a great day. Everyone take a little time to enjoy the view. And remember, do not get down. Do not despair. We are in this together, and we'll get through it together. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Did you know Susan Collins was the deciding vote for Donald Trump's Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe v. Wade? And she voted to put more than 100 Trump judges on the bench. Because of Susan Collins, states are banning abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest. And women are dying. And she's still standing by it.
I do not regret that vote.
Tell Susan Collins, stop voting for Trump's anti-choice judges.
Hi, I'm Barry, third-generation owner of Gas Horse Supply and Western Wear. For over 100 years, we have been a destination for Western saddlery and equine tack. But hold on, partner. We are a store with much more. We are fully stocked with Western apparel and, of course, Western boots for the entire family. For summer concerts, formal events, how about riding horses? Even safety toe work boots. All boots purchased receive a free coating of leather preservative. Cowboy up. Gas Horse Supply and Western Wear in Orono.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
There are calls for reform after the deadly ICE shooting in Biddeford. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. A school board member arrested in connection with an infant drug overdose in Eddington made her first court appearance. And the Maine Democratic Party is releasing more details about finding a replacement for Graham Plattner. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey, Susan, happy Thursday afternoon. We have a lot of wildfire smoke further off towards the south and west, prompting alerts. But as for us, the southwestern parts of the state seeing a little bit. As for the rest of us, we're not looking too bad. This will clear out pretty quickly. Friday looking a lot better for the rest of the northeast, at least until about Friday evening before some more looks to move in. But in the meantime, for us, we're forecasting moderate air quality for us today, while areas further off towards the south and west, at least unhealthy for the season or unhealthy for the sensitive groups expected. Some air quality alerts posted for that. But in the meantime, no, we are going to be watching for some showers and thunderstorms that will be approaching today. Otherwise, a partly cloudy sky. Some of those storms may pack a punch with some gusty winds, hail, and heavy downpours. As we do zoom things out, you can see that little line of clouds right there, and a few little bits of sprinkles too. But of course, that's bringing in all that smoke. We're going to be seeing precipitation for us today. You can see that right there this afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms, heavy downpours, and again, gusty winds and hail not out of the question either. Will dry out tonight with a partly cloudy sky as this passes through. And then for your Friday, looking nice and dry. So as we do push forward, showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, temperatures in the 70s, and then cooling off. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. In the wake of the deadly shooting in Biddeford, Governor Janet Mills is calling on Congress to reform ICE. The governor met with local officials in Biddeford Wednesday. She also sent a letter to Maine's congressional delegation calling on Congress to, quote, not simply share our grief, to express concerns or offer condolences, but to act now to require ICE to respect the rule of law and honor our collective security. She also said, quote, before more families are robbed of a loved one, this violence has to end. Before one more community is robbed of its peace and security, this violence has to end. Before more gunshots shatter another windshield, steal another person's life, and fracture the freedom we all seek, this has to end. Before a fragile American memorialized on hopeful parchment 2.5 centuries ago is altogether abandoned, this has to end. ICE needs to be fundamentally reformed, and if not, then it must be abolished. A school board member wanted in connection with an infant drug overdose in Eddington has been arrested. Police say 36-year-old Brittany Wood was located Tuesday night in Brewer. Wood made her first court appearance in Penobscot County Court Wednesday afternoon. Our Grace Blanchard has the details.
After an extensive multi-agency effort, RSU 63 school board member Brittany Wood of Eddington has been arrested and charged with aggravated assault and endangering the welfare of a child. The charges stem from the opioid overdose of her 9-month-old infant in May. The 36-year-old made her first court appearance virtually on Wednesday.
That's our position here in this case, that the mother was reckless in the care of her infant, and as a result, the baby almost died.
According to a court affidavit, Wood called 911 on May 31st to report that her 9-month-old daughter was unresponsive at their home. First responders were able to revive the child only after administering Narcan. Court documents revealed the child tested positive for fentanyl and cocaine.
The baby had been breastfed by the mother, who we suggest by the evidence had been using fentanyl, and that's how the fentanyl got into the baby's system.
Almy says the father of the child had no involvement in the overdose. The warrant for Wood's arrest was issued on July 2nd, after an extensive investigation by the sheriff's office and multiple agencies. Eddington Town Manager Shauna Hinckley released a statement addressing the situation, saying the town and school officials are taking the time to ensure the situation is handled properly. The superintendent of schools denied our request for comment. The attorney representing Wood on Wednesday argued that she was on vacation when she became aware of the warrant and was on her way to surrender when police arrested her on Tuesday. The judge did not ask Wood to enter a plea given the felony charge. The judge also denied the state's request for house arrest, but ordered no use or possession of alcohol or drugs and to submit for search and testing and multiple no-contact orders. DHHS is involved, but the child is currently in the father's custody, who is not facing charges. The judge set bail at $50,000. Wood's next court appearance is scheduled for November. In Bangor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A months-long drug investigation has ended with a Bangor man facing charges. Maine Drug Enforcement Agency Commander Brandon Vafiatis says 27-year-old John Clement was arrested early Wednesday. Vafiatis says agents and other law enforcement stopped Clement in a vehicle on Hammond Street in Bangor. He says a search of that vehicle uncovered cocaine. Clement is charged with 3 counts of aggravated drug trafficking. Vafiatis says he was on probation for a prior drug trafficking conviction at the time of his arrest, and additional charges may be forthcoming. Maine State Police are highlighting an unsolved homicide out of Orland in the hopes of generating new leads. Back in 2005, Larry Allen reported that he discovered his brother Brian Allen deceased in a trailer they shared together. The trailer was located near a blueberry field in the town of Orland. Based on an investigation into the cause of Brian's death, the case was ruled a homicide and several interviews were conducted. Maine State Police are asking for your help in moving the case forward. If you or anyone you know has information regarding this case, you're asked to contact the Maine State Police Major Crimes Unit North. The process for the Maine Democratic Party to find a replacement for Grant Plattner in the upcoming Senate race is unfolding rapidly. Now they have to choose the delegates who will be selecting his replacement. The party has announced that the delegate nomination process will take place across the state over the weekend, with many online and some in person. A full list of the county meeting locations and dates is available at maindems.org. A statewide nominating convention with those chosen delegates will take place July 25th in Bangor. Hamden Town councilors are holding off on a potential ban on data centers. During a workshop Monday night, councilors decided not to move forward with a moratorium on new data center development. Instead, they requested the planning board look at what rules and regulations should be in place if a data center proposal arises in the future. Town officials say there are currently no active proposals to build a data center in Hamden. However, several communities across Maine are grappling with how to handle the growing industry. Hamden Town Manager Paula Scott told our reporter she wasn't interested in commenting on the decision. A boil water order has been issued for much of the Broadway area in Bangor due to a water main break on Wednesday. The image on your screen shows the highlighted area where affected residents should take caution. According to the Bangor Water District, the boil order is out of an abundance of caution due to the potential for contamination. That break occurred around 10:30 a.m. yesterday and was fixed by around 4 p.m., but the Water District is still urging caution. Chuck Harrison, general manager of the Bangor Water District, said, quote, "We're hoping to lift it on Friday, but we can't guarantee until we take bacteria samples. We have to do the samples in 5 spots," end quote. Harrison adds that the water folks have consumed up to until now it's safe since it came through a water tank and not through the water main. For updates, you can go to Bangor Water District website or Facebook page. Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, lobstermen may get a pause on new regulations. We'll have details when we return.
There are so many fun things to do in Maine. Now you can enjoy more for less. Check out half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Located on Wilson Street in Brewer, Yoshi Japanese Restaurant, where you'll find only the best sushi, Asian favorites, and specialty crafted cocktails that will satisfy anyone. Try tatami seating for an immersive experience. Yoshi Japanese Restaurant, bringing delicious traditions to you.
There's a limited supply available. It's on sale right now. Save with half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will. And they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
On the Road, broadcasting the news at 6, live from Lincoln, is brought to you by Daddy and Daughters. Come and see us at our Lee location and turn your scrap into cash. Coastal Auto Parts, your local Napa Auto Parts dealer with 30 locations, owned and operated by a Maine family that cares. Steaks and Stuff in Lincoln is your local community supermarket.
I remember standing out on that concrete platform and singing, "The building block that was rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world." And that's where the name New World came from.
An historic Blue Hill property known as the Hen House that once served as a recording studio for Noel Paul Stuckey of the 1960s folk group Peter, Paul and Mary is up for sale. We'll share more from our conversation with Stuckey about its past and future. We'll have the story tonight on ABC 7 News at 6.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Gulf countries are saying they intercepted more drones and missiles from Iran today. The U.S. and Iran trading strikes for nearly a week now. As ABC's Olivia Rubin reports, the president spent time in the Situation Room weighing his options.
Iran today releasing video saying it's launching more missiles targeting U.S. bases and facilities in the Middle East. Kuwait and Jordan saying they intercepted hostile drones and missiles. The United States carrying out more strikes too. A U.S. aircraft fired at an oil tanker that attempted to violate the U.S. blockade on Iranian ports. U.S. Central Command saying the tanker ignored multiple warnings as it moved toward Karg Island, the Iranian oil terminal in the Persian Gulf. With the ceasefire over and the war nearing 5 months, sources say President Trump held a meeting in the Situation Room this week to discuss his options in Iran, including possible targets, after renewing his threat to bomb Iranian bridges and power plants as soon as next week.
I don't like giving deadlines, but they pretty much know. They know the story. They better behave.
But in what the president is calling a gesture of goodwill, Iran on Wednesday freeing a wrongfully detained American citizen held since 2024. The woman's lawyer identifying her as Dina Karari, a U.S. Iranian citizen who the lawyer said, quote, has been trapped in Iran on bogus charges of collaboration with a hostile state and espionage.
And of course, many here at home are tracking the economic impacts of all of this. The price of oil is climbing back up, and some experts are warning that the price for a gallon of gas could hit $4 once again. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
Protesters rally in Ukraine's capital after its president moves to oust the defense minister. Hundreds of people gathered in downtown Kyiv Thursday carrying signs and banners to protest against President Zelensky's decision to dismiss the defense minister, who had been in office for only 6 months. The shakeup comes as Parliament appointed the state energy company chief as the country's new prime minister. Zelensky announced earlier this week he would be changing his cabinet as part of a major government reshuffle. Flash floods emergencies in Texas today, including in Kerrville along the Guadalupe River. That's where the deadly Camp Mystic flooding occurred last summer. As ABC's Rena Roy reports, water rescues are already underway.
Life-threatening flooding in central Texas today, with torrential rain prompting water rescues and evacuations in Texas Hill Country.
Highway 7, the 6200 block just before Boardwalk, is completely impassable. There's about 2 or 3 foot of water, and it's rising.
The National Weather Service issuing a flash flood emergency, including a large and deadly flood wave along the Guadalupe River around Kerrville. Parts of the Guadalupe River rising more than 30 feet in 4 hours before cresting. The conditions expected to be similar to that catastrophic river flood on July 4th, 2025, that killed more than 130 people, including dozens of children at Camp Mystic. Rain falling at about 2 to 4 inches per hour in an area already saturated by wet weather. In Uvalde, more than a half year's worth of rain fell in the last 48 hours. Nearby in Ingram, an animal rescue still trying to recover from last year's flood, telling ABC News its animals are safe, but it lost all of its structures overnight for the second time.
It took everything again. I hate this. I'm tired of this.
In the San Antonio suburb of Bernie, this woman rescued from the roof of her car. Floodwaters barreling through the streets, overtaking neighborhoods. Just north of San Antonio, at least one tornado confirmed. Tornado warnings also issued in the Uvalde area. Now, in the next 24 hours, an additional 8 to 12 inches of rain is possible across parts of Hill Country. Tomorrow is when things are expected to finally start drying out. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Smoke from Canadian wildfires is causing health concerns as it spreads to parts of the U.S. Heavy smoke and hazy skies blanketing parts of the Midwest and Northeast have sparked air quality alert concerns. Health officials have compared the wildfire smoke exposures to secondhand smoke and warn it can affect a range of people, not just those with breathing issues. Children with hard-to-control asthma, women who are pregnant, and people with pre-existing heart conditions need to be wary. Doctors recommend staying indoors, closing windows, and keeping the air conditioner on. And if you need to venture outside, make it quick and wear a mask. The House Natural Resources Committee has given the green light to a bill that would extend a regulatory pause for Maine lobstermen. The proposal by Congressman Jared Golden would extend the moratorium on certain new regulations related to the North Atlantic right whale, including potential fishery closures, from 2028 to 2035. Golden told the committee federal layoffs and other factors have contributed to it taking longer to gather and process information.
The Maine lobster fishery is really not asking for too much here. We're not asking for new funding, a new process, or any kind of new policy mandate. Simply more time to complete the process that this Congress started back in December of 2022.
The committee advanced the act to the House floor on a bipartisan 20-13 vote. After the break, we'll find out how the blueberry crop looks. We'll be right back.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home, so skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
We've got a 100-year-old company here, and it's because of the service, the quality, and the experience. It gets done right.
I think we've been doing it for so long,
the only thing that we do, that when we walk into a room, we automatically know how to treat that window. We can take any product that the customer is looking for and make it work in just about any situation that they present us with. So
There's no reason to be overwhelmed when we can help you through it.
we're not going anywhere. We've been around for 100 years.
ABC 7, Fox 22. The place we call home, telling main stories wherever you roam. From sunrise shores to forests of pine, hard work, strong hearts, values that shine. From old towns to harbors, back roads to ocean blue. Neighbors helping neighbors in all that we do. Through storms and clear skies, day after day, we're here with the stories that matter in Maine. From mountains to sea, standing strong and true. This is Maine, this is home on ABC 7, Fox 22.
Fluffy feline friends are cute, cuddly, and more importantly, safe for kids with asthma. ABC's Melissa Adon has more.
If your child has asthma, you've probably heard the warnings. Things like dust, pollen, mold, and pet dander can trigger an asthma attack. So for years, families with asthmatic children have often been advised to avoid getting a cat. But new research suggests that cats may do the opposite. In a study of more than 30,000 children published in Frontiers in Allergies, children with asthma living with cats didn't experience worse asthma symptoms or more asthma attacks than those without a cat. Flare-ups happened in roughly 3% of all kids, whether they had a cat or not. Even the number of cats in the home and their age made no difference. While this brings new hope for pet lovers living with asthma, it only applies to cats. The verdict is still out on how dogs, rabbits, and other furry friends impact childhood asthma. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
In a few weeks, Maine's blueberry industry will be back in the spotlight, starting with the governor's ceremonial first rake to the annual Blueberry Weekend. As our Doug Banks reports, farmers are hoping that this year's harvest will be better than last year.
Around 50 to 60 varieties of wild blueberries can be found in a single Maine field.
And each one of those blueberries have a little different characteristic. And when you mix them all together, that's the Maine wild blueberry.
For the past 55 years, Douglas Latham has owned Latham Blueberry Farms in this 9-acre field, which in its best year yielded 55,000 pounds.
Its worst year was 9.
This year, he's predicting an average harvest, crediting a decent pollination season and reasonable rainfall at the Searsport Farm.
We're optimistic. The season's still young. Anything could happen. And so that's the best I could forecast.
According to UMaine wild blueberry specialist Dr. Lily Calderwood, too early to forecast is the state's current consensus. Because despite seeing lush fields of blue and green, she says the state is heading into this harvesting season with a drought similar to last year's, which dealt a 40% loss in crops and a $28 million drop in farmers' income.
In addition to drought issues, this spring we had frost events during bloom, but some fields were hit pretty hard. Others look really good.
What isn't too early to predict is the level of optimism shared among an industry that provides around 99% of the country's wild blueberries.
It is important to remain optimistic. These growers have a real connection to the land.
It would be great that individuals understand the value of the Maine blueberry.
In Searsport, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
Driving is what drives me. But when the day winds down, it's back to the daily drive. That's why I choose AAA Auto Insurance. Wherever the road leads, AAA is by my side.
Did you know Susan Collins was the deciding vote for Donald Trump's Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe v. Wade? And she voted to put more than 100 Trump judges on the bench. Because of Susan Collins, states are banning abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest. And women are dying. And she's still standing by it.
I do not regret that vote.
Tell Susan Collins, stop voting for Trump's anti-choice judges.
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will, and they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
Thousands of kids like Caroline receive life-changing care at Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center each year, the only full-service pediatric program north of Portland. You can help support them by joining the Summer Classic for Maine Kids Golf Tournament, happening July 31st at Bangor Municipal Golf Course. Benefiting the Children's Miracle Network at Eastern Maine Medical Center, every dollar raised supports pediatric care today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Ready to tee up for a great cause? Visit northernlight.org/4kids to learn more and register today.
Peter Pan here. You know, I thought growing up would be the worst, but then I found a way to hack adulthood. It's called AAA. With AAA, I'm covered from roadside to poolside, and insurance and member perks that make adulting a breeze. With AAA, it pays to be a member.
Let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, Susan, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. Wave heights look like this, right around 1 to 2 feet according to the buoys right now, but farther out towards sea, all right, we have 4 to 6 feet according to the buoys. So a little bit active farther out towards sea, but on land, we're not looking too bad at this moment in time. We are going to be watching areas that are dealing with wildfire smoke. The southwestern parts of the state not looking too bad. It's worse farther off towards the south and west. There's going to be a break developing later on tonight and parts of Friday before another wave of wildfire smoke moves in Friday night. So at the moment, though, we're not looking too bad. You can see the advisories are posted for the air quality farther off towards the south and west. But as for us, we're in the green. We're forecasted to be in the yellow today, which isn't too bad, but notice farther off towards the south and west, forecasting unhealthy for sensitive groups today. Air quality alerts posted for that. But in the meantime, again, we're expecting showers and thunderstorms today. Some of those could pack a punch with gusty winds and some hail and heavy downpours too as it tracks in from the northwest and goes toward the south and east. You can see that right there. Other areas to the south, this energy right here bringing in that smoke from Canada and parts of Minnesota. Futurecast for us, you can see the showers and thunderstorms getting going this afternoon. We'll get that through, and then a partly cloudy sky overnight, and then a beautiful Friday on the way, filled with a lot of sunshine and a few passing clouds as well for your Friday evening, looking very nice with hardly any cloud cover at all. So as we do push forward for today, scattered showers and thunderstorms with upper 70s for the high, and that west wind at about 30 miles per hour. Overnight, partly cloudy with low 50s overnight, and that west wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and windy with upper 70s for the high, and that northwest wind at about 30 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Saturday. Showers and thunderstorms with highs in the low 80s. And then Sunday, showers and thunderstorms again, highs in the upper 70s, and then lower 80s for your Monday, a partly cloudy sky.
Thank you, Devin. Calling all artists and animal lovers. The Bangor Humane Society is seeking a new logo for their annual Paws on Parade event. They announced on social media that they're looking for a new logo and theme from a local artist for their Paws on Parade 2027. You can enter your art for free. That information is on our website, and supporters vote with their dollars to choose a winner. The Humane Society is hoping to beat their previous milestone of raising nearly $1,500 through those votes. And 7 cheetah cubs make their public debut with this British zoo. The cubs are from 2 litters. 4 are 7 weeks old, born to first-time mom Amira on May 18th. Amira's sister Zara is mom to the other 3 cubs born just 5 days later. They all go on public display starting today at the Whipsnade Zoo in Bedfordshire, UK. Zookeepers shot video showing the cubs testing out their skills. At this point, we don't know their gender. Zoo staff will find that out during their first health check, which takes place at 8 weeks old. They will be named by conservationists with the Zoological Society of London, who are working with the Zambian government to release cheetahs into the wild for the first time in nearly 30 years. In the meantime, visitors at the zoo can look out for Amira, Zara, and all their cubs as they venture out into their public enclosure. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC's FM News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
Live from the Maine Lobster Festival in Rockland, it's the Lobster Crate Races. Watch fearless racers dash across floating lobster crates. Will they make it or take a spectacular splash? Who will stay on their feet and who will take the plunge? Don't miss the Lobster Crate Races live from the Maine Lobster Festival, Sunday, August 2nd at 2 p.m. only on Fox 22.
Your